The universe is always sending you messages. Are you listening? Stoicism. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. By the time most of us reach adulthood, we are operating like a program on autopilot. Our behaviors, emotions, habits, and beliefs hardwired by years of unconscious repetition. We might say we want to find peace, live authentically, or uncover our true purpose, but our lives often follow a completely different script. So, how do we break free? How do we start listening to the quiet signals of the universe that are guiding us toward something greater? The answer lies in slowing down the noise, breaking past the barriers of our analytical mind and tuning into the whispers of the cosmos. Most people wait for disaster, a breakup, a loss, a crisis, to force them into transformation. But what if you didn't have to wait? What if you could change not from pain but from clarity and inspiration? The truth is, the universe is always speaking to you, offering guidance in subtle yet profound ways. Welcome to Stoic in Your Life, where we dive deep into the messages the universe is sending you every single day. Are you listening? Let's explore how to hear those whispers and use them to align with your truest self. Stay with me. This could be the start of something transformative. 1. The power of awareness and choice. Man is disturbed not by things but by the views he takes of them. Epictetus. Have you ever felt that life is happening to you instead of for you? That no matter how much you want to change, you find yourself stuck in the same habits, the same patterns, the same routines? This isn't just coincidence or bad luck. It's the result of living unconsciously, of letting your mind and body operate on autopilot. By the time most men reach their 30s, their lives are driven by ingrained behaviors, unconscious reactions, and deeply rooted beliefs. Yet here's the empowering truth. You are not a victim of your circumstances. Awareness is the first step to reclaiming control, and with it comes choice, the ability to rewrite the script of your life. The Stoics believed that nothing in life has meaning until we assign it meaning. This is the cornerstone of awareness, the realization that your perspective shapes your reality. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you become aware of the thoughts you think, the emotions you feel, and the habits you repeat, you unlock the power to change them. This is not easy, nor is it immediate, but it is possible. The first step is to stop and take inventory of your life. Are you living according to your values and goals, or are you simply reacting to the noise around you? Ask yourself these questions regularly, because awareness isn't a one-time revelation. It's a daily practice of checking in with yourself and understanding where you stand. Choice is the second half of the equation. Awareness without action is like identifying the problem but refusing to solve it. This is where many falter. They know they need to change, but they don't know how to begin. The Stoics teach us that the path to change starts not with grand gestures but with small, deliberate actions. Seneca said, "While we wait for life, life passes. Don't wait for a better time to start. Begin today, even if it's with something as simple as changing how you respond to a small irritation." Over time, these seemingly insignificant choices compound into a new way of being. By choosing awareness, you open the door to choosing differently, and in doing so, you create a life aligned with your highest self. Yet why is this so difficult? Why do so many men struggle to break free from their old ways even when they desperately want to? The answer lies in the power of habit. Like a river carving its path through rock, your daily behaviors and thoughts have created deep grooves in your mind and body. To create change, you must be willing to disrupt these patterns, and this takes courage. Courage to face your inner critic, courage to challenge your beliefs, and courage to act even when it feels uncomfortable. As Epictetus wisely said, "First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This process requires patience because transformation is not immediate, but every small victory is a step closer to the person you wish to become. The modern world presents unique challenges to cultivating awareness. Distractions are everywhere, from the endless scroll of social media to the constant buzz of notifications. The noise of daily life drowns out the subtle messages the universe is sending you. This is why mindfulness is more important than ever. Practicing mindfulness, whether through meditation, journaling, or simply spending a few minutes in silence each day, allows you to slow down and listen. These moments of stillness are where clarity emerges, where you can hear the guidance that has been waiting for you all along. The Stoics understood the value of this stillness, emphasizing the importance of retreating into oneself to find strength and wisdom. In modern life, carving out these moments of quiet is not a luxury, but a necessity for any man who wishes to live with purpose. As you cultivate awareness, you'll start to notice patterns in your life, both internal and external. These patterns are the universe's way of communicating with you. They show up in the form of synchronicities, recurring thoughts, or that nagging feeling that you're meant for something more. Pay attention to these signs. They're not random. They're a reflection of your inner state and an invitation to take the next step. The Stoic principle of amor fati, loving your fate, teaches us to embrace everything that happens as necessary for our growth. Even the challenges and setbacks you face are part of this dialogue with the universe. Instead of resisting them, ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? Every obstacle carries a lesson, and when you shift your perspective to see challenges as opportunities, you unlock a profound sense of resilience. In today's fast-paced world, many men feel disconnected from themselves, from their purpose, and from others. This disconnection is a symptom of living unconsciously, of being swept up in the currents of a reactive life. Awareness and choice are your anchors, the tools that will ground you and guide you back to what truly matters. But awareness is not enough on its own. It must be coupled with deliberate action. When you choose to act from a place of alignment, you begin to attract experiences, people, and opportunities that resonate with your authentic self. This is not wishful thinking. It's the natural result of living with intention and focus. So, what does this mean for you, here and now? It means taking responsibility for your life. It means recognizing that no matter what has happened in the past, you have the power to choose your response and shape your future. The universe is always sending you messages, but it's up to you to listen, slow down, reflect, make space for stillness. The more you tune into these moments, the more you'll hear the guidance that's been waiting for you all along. This is your invitation to wake up, to stop sleepwalking through life, and to start living consciously. The power of awareness and choice is not just a philosophical concept. It's a practical tool for navigating modern life. Every decision you make, no matter how small, is an opportunity to move closer to the life you want to live. The Stoics remind us that true power lies not in controlling external events, but in mastering our inner world. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Let today be the day you begin to cultivate that quality, to choose awareness over distraction, and to align your life with the messages the universe is sending you. Your journey starts now. Will you answer the call? 2. The importance of listening to the universe. There's a quiet rhythm to life, a flow that many of us fail to notice amid the chaos of daily routines. The Stoics understood this and often spoke of the interconnectedness of everything, urging us to align with nature and its inherent wisdom. All things are connected, said Marcus Aurelius, and if this is true, doesn't it follow that the universe is constantly communicating with us? But here's the critical question. Are you truly listening? In modern life, it's easy to ignore these signals. The endless notifications, busy schedules, and noisy distractions drown out the subtle whispers of the cosmos. Yet, the universe is relentless in its attempts to guide you. It speaks through coincidences, gut feelings, recurring patterns, and even the challenges you face. How many opportunities, moments of clarity, or lessons have you missed simply because you were too distracted to notice? Let me share a story that might resonate with you. John, a 40-year-old professional, spent years chasing success. His life was a cycle of deadlines, promotions, and stress. Despite having everything he thought he wanted, he felt empty and lost. Then one day, on his morning commute, he noticed a series of odd coincidences. He kept seeing the number 1111 on clocks, hearing a song from his childhood repeatedly, and running into old friends who reminded him of his forgotten dreams. At first, he brushed it off, calling it a random chance, but the signs didn't stop. One evening, while stuck in traffic, John remembered something his grandfather once said: "When the same thing keeps showing up, it's time to pay attention." Intrigued, John started reflecting on these moments, journaling his thoughts and looking for connections. Slowly, he realized the universe wasn't just sending random signals, it was nudging him toward rediscovering his passion for writing. He hadn't written a single story in years, yet deep down he knew that was his true calling. Within months of paying attention and acting on those signs, John left his high-stress job, started writing again, and found a sense of fulfillment he hadn't felt in decades. His life wasn't perfect, but it finally felt meaningful. John's story isn't unique. The universe communicates with all of us in ways tailored to our lives. The challenge is learning to tune in. Ask yourself, when was the last time you felt a tug in your gut? A pull toward something that didn't make logical sense but felt undeniably right? How often have you ignored that pull, only to realize later it was the right path all along? These are the ways the universe speaks, not with words but through experiences and emotions. The Stoics called this the divine reason, the logos that governs the world, and believed that our role as rational beings is to align ourselves with it. But this alignment requires a certain openness, a willingness to slow down and truly observe the world around us. How often do you take the time to be still and reflect on your life? How often do you pause to ask what a particular coincidence or challenge might be trying to teach you? The truth is, the universe often speaks to us most clearly in our struggles. Think about a time when something didn't go as planned, when a door closed unexpectedly or you faced a setback that felt insurmountable. At the moment, it might have felt like the universe was against you, but what if that challenge was a lesson in disguise? As Epictetus reminds us, difficulties are things that show a person what they are. The universe isn't punishing you. It's preparing you, guiding you to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Every obstacle carries an opportunity for transformation if you're willing to listen and learn. Have you ever considered that the very thing you see as a setback might be pointing you toward a better path? A path you might not have chosen otherwise? But listening to the universe isn't just about interpreting challenges. It's also about recognizing patterns of alignment. When things seem to fall into place effortlessly, when opportunities arise at just the right time, or when you feel a sense of flow, these are signs that you're in tune with the universe's rhythm. The Stoics believed this state of flow was achievable through virtue, living in accordance with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. They taught that by aligning our actions with these principles, we naturally align ourselves with the universe. So, when you experience these moments of synchronicity, don't dismiss them as mere luck. Ask yourself, what am I doing differently that has brought me into alignment, and how can I sustain it? In today's fast-paced world, many people feel disconnected, not because the universe has stopped speaking, but because we've stopped paying attention. The solution is simple but profound. Slow down and make space for stillness. This doesn't mean you need to meditate for hours or retreat to a mountain cave, though those practices can help. It can be as simple as taking 5 minutes in the saw, morning to breathe deeply and set an intention for the day, or reflecting in the evening on the events that stood out. What patterns did you notice? What feelings did you experience? What lessons can you draw from the day? These small practices, done consistently, can help you sharpen your awareness and attune yourself to the universe's guidance. As you begin to listen, remember this: the universe will not shout. It speaks in whispers, in subtle signs and quiet nudges. If you're not paying attention, those whispers may grow louder, but only because the universe is determined to reach you. Don't wait for a crisis to force you to listen. Don't let the noise of the world drown out the most important messages of your life. Take a moment right now and ask yourself, what has the universe been trying to tell me? Is it urging me to change, to grow, to take a leap of faith? Is it reminding me of something I've forgotten or guiding me towards something I've been avoiding? The lesson is simple yet profound. The universe is always speaking, but it's up to you to listen. Pay attention to the signs, trust your intuition, and act with courage. Like John, you might discover that the path you've been searching for has been right in front of you all along, waiting for you to see it. As Seneca wisely said, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. The universe is offering you opportunities every day. Will you prepare yourself to see and act on them? Listen closely, because the messages are there, waiting for you to hear, and the life you're meant to live is just a decision away. 3. Trusting your intuition. Trust yourself, and you will know how to live. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Have you ever felt a quiet nudge? A small voice within that seems to know the answer before your mind can fully comprehend the question? That's your intuition, a guiding force that so often knows the way, even when logic cannot fully explain it. Yet how often do we ignore this voice, dismissing it as irrational or unimportant? The truth is, your intuition is one of the most profound tools the universe has gifted you. The Stoics believed deeply in the power of aligning with nature and trusting the signals it provides. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." This means that when you trust your inner voice, you align yourself with the natural wisdom that flows through all of existence. But how do you begin to trust this voice, especially in a world that constantly demands evidence, logic, and reason? Start by acknowledging that intuition is not a random feeling. It's your subconscious processing years of experiences, knowledge, and patterns. When something doesn't feel right, even if you can't explain why, it's often because your mind has detected subtle cues that your conscious awareness has yet to process. Think back to a time when you followed your gut and it led you to the right decision. Or conversely, a time when you ignored it and regretted it later. Why do you think that happens? It's because intuition is your inner compass, designed to guide you toward your truth and steer you away from harm. The challenge is that most of us have been conditioned to silence this voice, to prioritize external validation over internal wisdom. Ask yourself, how many times have you made a decision based on what others expected of you, only to feel out of alignment with yourself? What might have happened if you had trusted your own instincts instead? The Stoics understood this well and emphasized the importance of inner clarity. Epictetus advised, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." This means living in alignment with your inner truth rather than constantly seeking approval or justification. Trusting your intuition requires you to quiet the noise of the outside world and tune into your inner world. But in today's society, filled with distractions and endless advice from every corner, how can you distinguish between your intuition and the chatter of your mind? The answer lies in stillness. When you give yourself space to pause, reflect, and listen, your intuition has room to surface. It might be a subtle feeling, a recurring thought, or a pull toward a specific action. Whatever form it takes, intuition often comes with a sense of clarity and peace, even in the face of uncertainty. But trusting your intuition doesn't mean it will always lead you to immediate success or comfort. Sometimes intuition guides you into the unknown, challenging you to grow and evolve. This is where trust becomes essential. When you follow your intuition, you may not see the full path ahead, but you take the first step with faith that the rest will unfold. This is a concept the Stoics often discussed. Seneca wrote, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." Trusting your intuition often means letting go of what no longer serves you and stepping into something unfamiliar, even if it scares you. Can you recall a time when you faced a tough decision and deep down you knew what you needed to do, even though it wasn't the easiest choice? That's intuition in action. It's not about guaranteeing the outcome, but about aligning with what feels right for you in the moment. In modern life, many people struggle with trusting their intuition because of fear of failure, judgment, or making the wrong choice. But what if you reframed fear as a signal that you're on the verge of growth? Intuition doesn't guarantee comfort, but it often leads to transformation. Imagine a young entrepreneur who feels an unshakable urge to start a business despite having a stable career. Everyone around them questions their decision, pointing out the risks. Yet, that intuitive pull persists. They decide to trust it, taking the leap, and while the journey is challenging, it ultimately brings them fulfillment and purpose. This is not just a story of success. It's a story of alignment, of someone daring to trust themselves in a world that often tells us to play it safe. The key to trusting your intuition lies in building a relationship with it. Like any relationship, this requires time, practice, and faith. Start small. The next time you feel drawn toward or away from something, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, does this decision feel aligned with who I am and what I value? Notice how your body reacts. Intuition often speaks through physical sensations like a sense of lightness or tension. Over time, as you act on these intuitive signals and see where they lead, your trust will grow. It's like building a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. As you deepen this connection with your intuition, you'll find that it's not just a tool for decision-making, but a doorway to living a more authentic and fulfilling life. The Stoics remind us that wisdom comes from within, not from external sources. By trusting your intuition, you're not just making choices, you're cultivating a way of life that is in harmony with the universe's guidance. And remember, the universe is always speaking, whether through synchronicities, challenges, or those quiet whispers in your heart. Your intuition is the bridge between you and this cosmic dialogue. So, as you move forward, consider this. What would change in your life if you started trusting your intuition a little more each day? What possibilities might open up if you stopped doubting yourself and started believing that you already have the answers you seek? The lesson is clear. The more you trust your intuition, the more aligned you become with your true path. The universe is always guiding you, but it's up to you to listen and take action. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Trust yourself, act with courage, and watch as the universe aligns to meet you where you are meant to be. 3. Trusting your intuition. Trust yourself, and you will know how to live. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Have you ever felt a quiet nudge, a small voice within that seems to know the answer before your mind can fully comprehend the question? That's your intuition, a guiding force that so often knows the way even when logic cannot fully explain it. Yet, how often do we ignore this voice, dismissing it as irrational or unimportant? The truth is, your intuition is one of the most profound tools the universe has gifted you. The Stoics believed deeply in the power of aligning with nature and trusting the signals it provides. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." This means that when you trust your inner voice, you align yourself with the natural wisdom that flows through all of existence. But how do you begin to trust this voice, especially in a world that constantly demands evidence, logic, and reason? Start by acknowledging that intuition is not a random feeling. It's your subconscious processing years of experiences, knowledge, and patterns. When something doesn't feel right, even if you can't explain why, it's often because your mind has detected subtle cues that your conscious awareness has yet to process. Think back to a time when you followed your gut and it led you to the right decision, or conversely, a time when you ignored it and regretted it later. Why do you think that happens? It's because intuition is your inner compass, designed to guide you toward your truth and steer you away from harm. The challenge is that most of us have been conditioned to silence this voice, to prioritize external validation over internal wisdom. Ask yourself, how many times have you made a decision based on what others expected of you, only to feel out of alignment with yourself? What might have happened if you had trusted your own instincts instead? The Stoics understood this well and emphasized the importance of inner clarity. Epictetus advised, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." This means living in alignment with your inner truth rather than constantly seeking approval or justification. Trusting your intuition requires you to quiet the noise of the outside world and tune into your inner world. But in today's society, filled with distractions and endless advice from every corner. How can you distinguish between your intuition and the chatter of your mind? The answer lies in stillness. When you give yourself space to pause, reflect, and listen, your intuition has room to surface. It might be a subtle feeling, a recurring thought, or a pull toward a specific action. Whatever form it takes, intuition often comes with a sense of clarity and peace, even in the face of uncertainty. But trusting your intuition doesn't mean it will always lead you to immediate success or comfort. Sometimes intuition guides you into the unknown, challenging you to grow and evolve. This is where trust becomes essential. When you follow your intuition, you may not see the full path ahead, but you take the first step with faith that the rest will unfold. This is a concept the Stoics often discussed. Seneca wrote, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." Trusting your intuition often means letting go of what no longer serves you and stepping into something unfamiliar, even if it scares you. Can you recall a time when you faced a tough decision and deep down, you knew what you needed to do, even though it wasn't the easiest choice? That's intuition in action. It's not about guaranteeing the outcome, but about aligning with what feels right for you in the moment. In modern life, many people struggle with trusting their intuition because of fear of failure, judgment, or making the wrong choice. But what if you reframed fear as a signal that you're on the verge of growth? Intuition doesn't guarantee comfort, but it often leads to transformation. Imagine a young entrepreneur who feels an unshakable urge to start a business despite having a stable career. Everyone around them questions their decision, pointing out the risks. Yet, that intuitive pull persists. They decide to trust it, taking the leap, and while the journey is challenging, it ultimately brings them fulfillment and purpose. This is not just a story of success. It's a story of alignment, of someone daring to trust themselves in a world that often tells us to play it safe. The key to trusting your intuition lies in building a relationship with it. Like any relationship, this requires time, practice, and faith. Start small. The next time you feel drawn toward or away from something, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, does this decision feel aligned with who I am and what I value? Notice how your body reacts. Intuition often speaks through physical sensations like a sense of lightness or tension. Over time, as you act on these intuitive signals and see where they lead, your trust will grow. It's like building a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. As you deepen this connection with your intuition, you'll find that it's not just a tool for decision-making, but a doorway to living a more authentic and fulfilling life. The Stoics remind us that wisdom comes from within, not from external sources. By trusting your intuition, you're not just making choices, you're cultivating a way of life that is in harmony with the universe's guidance. And remember, the universe is always speaking, whether through synchronicities, challenges, or those quiet whispers in your heart. Your intuition is the bridge between you and this cosmic dialogue. So, as you move forward, consider this. What would change in your life if you started trusting your intuition a little more each day? What possibilities might open up if you stopped doubting yourself and started believing that you already have the answers you seek? The lesson is clear. The more you trust your intuition, the more aligned you become with your true path. The universe is always guiding you, but it's up to you to listen and take action. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. Trust yourself, act with courage, and watch as the universe aligns to meet you where you are meant to be." 4. The necessity of action. Well-being is attained by little and little, and nevertheless is no little thing itself. Zeno of Citium. The messages the universe sends mean little without action. You can read every book, listen to every motivational talk, or absorb every philosophy, but if you do not act, all that knowledge becomes a stagnant pool rather than a flowing river of change. This is why the Stoics emphasized action as the cornerstone of a meaningful life. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. The universe can present you with endless opportunities, signals, and even gentle pushes in the right direction, but ultimately you must decide to move forward. It is the act of doing, of taking the first step, that transforms dreams into realities, plans into outcomes, and potential into progress. Action bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. The question is, are you ready to cross that bridge? Often we delay action because we fear failure, uncertainty, or stepping outside our comfort zones. We rationalize our hesitation by waiting for the perfect time. But as the Stoics knew, waiting is a trap. Seneca warned, "While we wait, for life passes." Think about the opportunities you've let slip away because you told yourself you weren't ready. Perhaps it was a career move, a relationship, or a chance to pursue a long-held passion. What held you back? If you trace those moments, you'll likely find that it wasn't the universe withholding opportunities, but you resisting action. The raw truth is, there is no perfect time to begin. There is only now. Every delay feeds fear, while every small step forward builds courage. When you take action, even imperfectly, you begin to shift momentum in your favor, and as momentum grows, so does your capacity to meet challenges with confidence. Action isn't about achieving perfection on the first try. It's about committing to the process. Consider the story of Thomas, a man in his 50s who felt stuck in a cycle of dissatisfaction. For years, he wanted to start his own business, but kept telling himself it wasn't the right time. One day, after hearing a friend recount a similar regret, Thomas realized he had been living passively, waiting for the universe to hand him the life he wanted. Inspired, he began small, researching his business idea during evenings and weekends while keeping his day job. Each step felt insignificant, but over months, those small actions compounded. Today, Thomas runs a thriving enterprise, and his life feels aligned with his values and aspirations. He often reflects on how different his life would be if he had continued waiting. What about you? What might shift if you stopped waiting for the right moment and took one step today? The Stoics taught that action should be guided by wisdom and virtue. Acting for the sake of motion is meaningless. Intentionality gives action its purpose. Epictetus emphasized this when he said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This means identifying your values, clarifying your goals, and ensuring your actions align with who you aspire to become. In modern life, where distractions abound and it's easy to be busy without being productive, this advice is more relevant than ever. Are your actions today moving you closer to the life you want to live, or are they simply filling time? Reflection can provide clarity, but only action can provide results. Even the most profound realizations mean nothing if they remain trapped in your mind. Fear is often the silent barrier that stops us from taking meaningful action. We fear failing, looking foolish, or stepping into the unknown. But as Seneca wisely noted, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Fear magnifies the risks and minimizes the rewards. Yet, every great achievement in history began with someone acting despite their fears. The first steps often feel daunting, but they are also where transformation begins. Consider someone starting a fitness journey after years of neglecting their health. The idea of going to a gym or changing eating habits can feel overwhelming, but the simple act of lacing up running shoes or swapping one unhealthy meal for a healthy one creates a ripple effect. Each small action builds confidence, leading to bigger changes over time. The same principle applies to every area of life, whether it's relationships, career, or personal growth. Action is the antidote to stagnation. In taking action, resilience becomes your ally. The Stoics believed that setbacks and failures are not reasons to stop, but opportunities to grow. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This profound insight reminds us that obstacles are not barriers, but teachers. Each failure contains a lesson, and each lesson strengthens your resolve. Think about a time when you faced a challenge but persevered. How did that experience shape you? Would you be the person you are today without those moments of difficulty? The universe isn't just sending you opportunities. It's also sending you challenges designed to prepare you for what's next. Trust that every step, no matter how hard, is part of your evolution. Action also fosters alignment with the messages the universe is sending. When you take steps toward your goals, you'll notice that synchronicities become more frequent. It's as if the universe conspires to support those who take initiative. Doors begin to open, resources appear, and the right people come into your life. This is not magic. It's the result of aligning your energy, focus, and actions with your intentions. When you move, the universe moves with you. Remember this: action is the thread that weaves your aspirations into reality. The universe can send you signals, but it cannot act for you. That responsibility lies with you. What is one small step you can take today to move closer to your goals? It doesn't need to be monumental. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. The Stoics understood that a meaningful life is built not in leaps, but in steady, deliberate steps. Take action, no matter how small, and trust that the path will reveal itself as you walk it. The universe is always ready to meet you halfway, but it waits for you to move first. As Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, taught, well-being is attained by little and little. Start now, and let those small steps create a life of purpose, growth, and alignment. The question remains, are you ready to take that first step? The answer is yours to give. Thank you for being here with us today. Before we move forward, I want to take a moment to genuinely express my gratitude for your presence and participation. It's truly a joy to have you as part of our community. If you'd like, share your story or thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Not sure what to say? No problem. Just leave a comment saying, I am a newbie if you've recently joined us, or I am Stoic if you've been here for a while. Your engagement means the world to us and serves as a constant source of inspiration to keep creating meaningful content. Now, let's continue to the next part. 5. Embracing growth through challenges. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius. Life has a way of throwing challenges at us when we least expect them. A sudden loss, a failure, or an obstacle can feel overwhelming, as though the universe itself is working against us. Yet the Stoics taught us a profound truth. These challenges are not meant to break us, but to build us. Marcus Aurelius's famous words remind us that adversity is not the enemy, it is the path. Growth does not occur in the absence of hardship, but because of it. But how do you embrace this perspective when the challenges in front of you seem insurmountable? How do you turn struggle into strength and setbacks into stepping stones? The key lies in shifting your mindset, understanding that life's trials are the universe's way of shaping you into the person you're meant to become. Can you look at your challenges not as roadblocks but as opportunities to evolve? This is the mindset that allows us to grow through adversity, not in spite of it. Think about the story of Joseph, a man who had spent years climbing the corporate ladder only to be laid off unexpectedly in his mid-40s. At first, it felt like the end of the world. He was angry, afraid, and overwhelmed by uncertainty. But as he began to reflect, Joseph realized this challenge was also an opportunity, a chance to pursue the passion for woodworking he had buried under years of corporate work. He took small steps, starting with a side project in his garage, and slowly built a business that not only provided for his family but also brought him immense joy. Looking back, Joseph often says that being laid off was the best thing that ever happened to him because it forced him to reassess his path and grow in ways he never imagined. What challenges are you facing right now, and what might they be trying to teach you? How might they be guiding you towards something greater? The Stoics believed that every challenge carries within it a lesson, but it is up to us to uncover it. Epictetus taught, difficulties are things that show a person what they are. This is a powerful reminder that adversity reveals our character. When life gets hard, it's not just about overcoming the difficulty, but about discovering who you truly are in the process. Are you someone who gives up at the first sign of resistance, or do you rise to meet the challenge with courage and resilience? Modern life often tempts us to avoid discomfort at all costs. We are surrounded by distractions, conveniences, and quick fixes that promise to take away our pain. But avoiding discomfort also means avoiding growth. The Stoics knew that hardship, while painful, is also transformative. When you embrace it, you step into your true power. What if the universe is not punishing you but preparing you for something more? Would that change the way you approach your struggles? In today's fast-paced world, challenges can feel like interruptions to our carefully planned lives. But what if those interruptions are exactly what we need to grow? Think of a young athlete training for a marathon. Every mile is a test of endurance. Every setback, a cramp, a rainy day, or a missed run, feels like an inconvenience. Yet it is precisely these challenges that build their strength and resilience. Without them, the finish line would hold no meaning. Life operates the same way. The challenges you face are not detours from your journey. They are the journey. Each obstacle is an opportunity to learn, adapt, and strengthen your resolve. When was the last time you faced a difficulty that, in hindsight, turned out to be a blessing in disguise? How might viewing your current struggles as stepping stones shift your perspective? But embracing challenges doesn't mean you have to face them alone. One of the most powerful lessons from adversity is that it often brings people together. When you allow yourself to lean on others and ask for help, you discover the strength of community. The Stoics believed in the interconnectedness of humanity, understanding that we are stronger together than we are alone. Seneca advised, associate with people who are likely to improve you, who in your life can support you as you navigate your challenges. Are you willing to ask for help and offer it in return? Growth through adversity often involves both self-reliance and the humility to recognize when you need others. As you reflect on the challenges in your life, remember that they are not here to defeat you but to refine you. Growth is rarely comfortable, and it often requires letting go of old beliefs, habits, or ways of being that no longer serve you. This process can feel like loss, but it is also liberation. Consider the metaphor of a seed. For it to grow into a tree, it must first break apart in the soil, endure the pressure of the earth, and reach toward the light. The same is true for you. The breaking apart is not destruction, it is transformation. What parts of your old self might you need to release to make room for your growth? Are you willing to endure the discomfort of change to become the person you are meant to be? The universe sends us challenges not to test us for its own amusement, but to guide us toward our highest potential. When you embrace this truth, you stop seeing adversity as something to avoid and start seeing it as a teacher. Every struggle, every setback, every failure carries within it the seed of growth. The key is to approach life with curiosity, asking not, why is this happening to me? But, what is this teaching me? This simple shift in perspective can transform your relationship with difficulty. It allows you to see challenges not as enemies but as allies on your journey to self-discovery. The challenges you face today are shaping the person you will become tomorrow. Growth through challenges is not easy, but it is always worth it. The lessons you learn, the strength you build, and the clarity you gain will serve you in ways you cannot yet imagine. The Stoics believed that our greatest power lies in how we respond to what life gives us. So how will you respond? Will you resist and remain stagnant, or will you embrace your challenges and grow? The choice is yours. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your growth begins the moment you decide to see challenges not as barriers, but as stepping stones. Are you ready to take the first step? The universe is waiting, and so is the person you are meant to become. 6. The value of stillness and reflection. In a world that seems to move faster every day, where notifications buzz endlessly, deadlines loom, and the pressure to constantly produce feels overwhelming, stillness might seem like a luxury few can afford. But the Stoics would argue the opposite, that stillness is not a luxury but a necessity. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." This profound truth reminds us that within the chaos of life lies an inner sanctuary, a place of Stillness and reflection that is always accessible to us if only we choose to enter it. But how often do you actually stop to pause, to breathe, to listen, not to the noise around you, but to the quiet wisdom within? And if you don't, what might you be missing? The value of stillness and reflection isn't just a philosophical idea. It's a practical tool for navigating life's challenges and aligning with the messages the universe is constantly sending. When was the last time you truly sat in silence, without distractions, and allowed yourself to reflect on your life? For many, the answer is rarely or never. Yet it is in these moments of stillness that clarity emerges. Stillness creates space for the mind to process, for the heart to feel, and for the soul to connect with something greater. The Stoics understood this deeply. Seneca advised, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality," reminding us that our constant overthinking and worrying often cloud the truth. When you take time to reflect, you gain perspective. You begin to see that the challenges you face, the decisions you're wrestling with, and the emotions you're avoiding are not as insurmountable as they seem. Stillness doesn't solve your problems, but it gives you the clarity and strength to face them. How might your life change if you made room for even 5 minutes of stillness each day? Stillness also allows you to hear the subtle messages the universe is sending. In the rush of daily life, these messages often go unnoticed. A repeated thought, a synchronicity, or a gut feeling urging you in a certain direction. But when you slow down, these whispers become clearer. Consider the story of Sarah, a busy entrepreneur who felt perpetually stuck in her business. No matter how much effort she put in, things didn't improve. One day, exhausted, she decided to take a weekend off and retreat to a cabin in the woods. Without her phone, email, or meetings, she finally had the space to reflect. In that stillness, she realized she had been pursuing the wrong goals, chasing external success instead of aligning with her true passions. Returning home, Sarah made bold changes, and her business and life transformed. What about you? Are there signs you've been ignoring simply because you're too busy to notice them? The beauty of stillness is that it is accessible to everyone. Regardless of your circumstances, you don't need a luxurious retreat or hours of meditation to experience its benefits. Stillness can be found in the quiet moments of everyday life, a walk in nature, sitting with a cup of coffee in the morning, or even pausing for a few deep breaths between tasks. The key is intentionality. When you approach these moments with a mindset of reflection, they become powerful opportunities to connect with yourself and the universe. And reflection doesn't mean dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. It means asking meaningful questions. What am I feeling right now? What is this moment teaching me? How can I move forward in alignment with my values? The answers to these questions often arise not through effort but through allowing. Are you willing to create space for these answers to reveal themselves? In our hyper-connected world, many people fear stillness because it feels unproductive. But the truth is, stillness is one of the most productive things you can do. When you pause to reflect, you gain clarity on what truly matters, which prevents wasted effort on things that don't. Epictetus famously said, "It is not things that disturb us, but our interpretations of them." Stillness helps you examine those interpretations and challenge the stories you tell yourself about your struggles and limitations. How many of your current problems are rooted in a story you've created, rather than reality itself? Reflection allows you to see these stories for what they are and empowers you to rewrite them. Stillness also nurtures resilience. Life is unpredictable, and challenges are inevitable. Without moments of reflection, you risk being tossed around by external circumstances, reacting impulsively instead of responding wisely. But when you cultivate stillness, you develop a calm center that anchors you through life's storms. This doesn't mean you won't face difficulties, but it does mean you'll face them with greater clarity and composure. Think about a time when you acted out of stress or fear, only to regret it later. How might that situation have changed if you had paused, reflected, and responded from a place of stillness? Remember that stillness is not about doing nothing. It's about doing the inner work necessary to live a meaningful life. It's about creating space to hear the guidance of the universe and aligning your actions with that guidance. The lesson is simple. In stillness, you find strength. In reflection, you find direction. The world will always try to pull you away from this inner sanctuary, but the choice to return to it is always yours. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Are you ready to claim that power? Are you ready to embrace stillness as a tool for growth, clarity, and alignment? The universe is always speaking, but it is in the quiet moments that its messages are most clear. Take the time to listen, reflect, and act. Your journey to a more aligned and purposeful life begins not in noise but in silence. Are you ready to begin? 7. The Law of Alignment and Attraction. The law of alignment and attraction is not a mystical idea. It's a profound truth that governs the way we interact with the world and the energy we bring into it. Simply put, what you focus on expands, and what you align yourself with you inevitably attract. Think about this for a moment. How many times have you noticed that when you are in a bad mood, more things seem to go wrong? On the flip side, when you are feeling confident and motivated, opportunities seem to fall into place. The Stoics understood this principle long before modern psychology or self-help trends. Marcus Aurelius urged, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This statement underscores a vital truth. Your inner state shapes your outer reality. If you want to attract better experiences, relationships, and outcomes, you must first align your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with the life you desire. But how does one do this, especially in a world filled with distractions, doubts, and negativity? Alignment begins with clarity. You cannot attract what you want if you don't know what that is. Too often, people drift through life reacting to circumstances instead of intentionally creating their reality. The Stoics would ask, what is within your control? What truly matters to you? Epictetus famously said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This means getting clear about your values, goals, and priorities, and then ensuring that your daily actions reflect them. For example, if you desire a healthier body but continue to indulge in unhealthy habits, your actions are misaligned with your goal. The same applies to relationships, careers, and personal growth. Ask yourself, are your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors aligned with the outcomes you seek, or are they pulling you in different directions? Clarity is the foundation upon which alignment is built. Once you have clarity, the next step is to cultivate the right mindset. The Stoics taught that our thoughts are incredibly powerful, shaping not only our perceptions but also our experiences. Seneca wrote, "As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters." This wisdom reminds us that it's the quality of our thoughts, not the quantity of our efforts, that determines our alignment. If you constantly dwell on fear, scarcity, or failure, you will attract more of the same. However, when you focus on gratitude, possibility, and abundance, you open yourself to receiving those things. Modern life often bombards us with negativity, from the news cycle to social media. So it's essential to guard your mind and consciously choose thoughts that serve your growth. How often do you pause to reflect on the quality of your thoughts? And how might your life change if you committed to thinking more positively? Alignment isn't just about thoughts. It's also about actions. The universe responds not to wishful thinking but to deliberate effort. Imagine wanting to start a business but never taking the first step, or longing for a deeper connection in your relationships but avoiding vulnerability. Without action, alignment remains incomplete. The Stoics emphasized this through their philosophy of living in accordance with nature, which means aligning your actions with your values and the natural flow of life. Think of this as a river. You can fight against the current, exhausting yourself, or you can flow with it, using your energy to steer where you want to go. What small actions can you take today to align yourself more closely with your goals? The answer lies not in grand gestures, but in consistent, intentional effort. Progress, no matter how small, creates momentum and strengthens your alignment. Another critical aspect of alignment is emotional congruence. It's not enough to think positively or act decisively. You must also feel aligned emotionally. If your words and actions are filled with doubt or resentment, the energy you put out will clash with what you're trying to attract. Consider the story of Daniel, a man who wanted a better career but spent most of his time complaining about his current job. Despite applying for new roles, his negativity kept him stuck. It wasn't until he shifted his focus, expressing gratitude for the skills he had developed and the opportunities he was seeking, that things began to change. Within months, he landed a position that aligned with his values and goals. Are your emotions aligned with your desires, or are they holding you back? The universe mirrors your emotional state, so it's crucial to cultivate feelings of confidence, gratitude, and joy, even before you see the results you're working toward. Alignment also requires patience and trust. The Stoics remind us that while we can control our efforts, we cannot control the outcome. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny for what could more aptly fit your needs." This doesn't mean passivity, but rather faith that the universe will deliver what is meant for you in its own time. Too often, people give up on their goals because results don't come as quickly as they'd like. But alignment is not about instant gratification. It's about consistency and trust. The seeds you plant today may take time to grow, but with patience, they will bear fruit. Are you willing to stay the course even when progress feels slow? The universe rewards those who persist with faith and focus. In today's fast-paced world, practicing alignment and attraction may feel challenging, but it is more important than ever. The distractions and pressures of modern life can pull you in countless directions, making it easy to lose sight of what truly matters. This is why reflection and recalibration are essential. Take time regularly to assess whether your thoughts, emotions, and actions are aligned with your values and goals. Are you living intentionally, or are you being carried by the currents of distraction and indecision? The more aligned you are, the more naturally you will attract the experiences, relationships, and opportunities that resonate with your true self. The lesson here is simple, yet profound. The universe responds to who you are, not just what you want. When your thoughts, feelings, and actions are in harmony, you create a powerful energy that attracts the life you desire. The law of alignment and attraction is not about wishing for things to happen. It's about becoming the person who naturally attracts those things. As you move forward, remember the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. Dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them. Align yourself with the beauty, possibility, and abundance around you, and trust that the universe will respond in kind. The question is, are you willing to do the inner work to align with the life you want? The answer lies within you, waiting to be brought into action. If you've made it this far, you're truly aligned with the wisdom of the universe. Drop a comment saying, "I am listening," to show your commitment to hearing and acting on the messages around you. Stick around. Your journey of transformation is just beginning. 8. Trust the process. Do not be discouraged by difficulties, for they are the price of greatness. Epictetus. Life has a rhythm, a natural flow that often feels mysterious and unpredictable, yet it operates with a precision that can only be understood by trusting the process. Trusting the process is about surrendering control over what you cannot change while committing fully to the steps within your power. It's not about passivity, it's about having faith that the effort you're putting in, no matter how small or slow it seems, will lead to meaningful outcomes in time. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, wrote, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." This profound wisdom reminds us that even when things seem stagnant or uncertain, progress is unfolding in ways we may not immediately see. But how do you maintain that trust when the results feel so far away? How do you stay committed to a journey that tests your patience, challenges your resolve, and sometimes leaves you questioning whether your effort is even worth it? Consider the story of Alex, a 35-year-old man who found himself stuck in a job that drained his energy and creativity. For years, he dreamed of starting his own business, but fear of failure kept him rooted in place. One day, after much reflection, Alex decided to take a leap of faith. He started small, dedicating evenings and weekends to building his dream. The progress was slow, and the obstacles were plenty. Rejected pitches, financial strain, and sleepless nights filled with doubt. Yet Alex chose to trust the process. He focused on the steps he could take each day, however small they seemed, and let go of the need to control the outcomes. 2 years later, his business began to thrive. Looking back, Alex realized that every setback, every challenge had taught him resilience, adaptability, and the skills he needed to succeed. What about you? What dreams have you put on hold because the path feels uncertain? And what might happen if you trusted the process instead of fearing the unknown? The Stoics taught that our job is not to predict or control the future, but to act with integrity and purpose in the present. Seneca famously said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." This is the essence of trusting the process, knowing that each action you take is preparing you for opportunities that may not yet be visible. But modern life often tempts us to demand instant results. In a world of one-click shopping and instant gratification, waiting feels like a punishment rather than a necessary part of growth. Yet nature itself teaches us the value of patience. Think of a seed planted in the ground. It doesn't sprout overnight. It requires time, nurturing, and the right conditions to grow into a thriving plant. Your goals and dreams are no different. They need consistency, care, and faith to blossom. Can you give yourself the patience and grace to grow at your own pace even when the results aren't immediate? Trusting the process also means embracing uncertainty. The Stoics remind us that we control only our actions and not the outcomes. Epictetus urged, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." This is not a call to indifference but to wisdom. When you accept that some aspects of life are beyond your control, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and focus your energy where it matters. Imagine you're training for a marathon. You can't control the weather on race day or guarantee a perfect finish, but you can control your training, your mindset, and your commitment to showing up. Life works in the same way. Instead of worrying about what's outside your control, ask yourself, what can I do today that aligns with my goals and values? And are you willing to take those steps even when the destination feels far away? Another crucial aspect of trusting the process is recognizing the role of setbacks and failures. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Every challenge you face is an opportunity to learn and grow. Yet it's easy to view obstacles as signs that you're on the wrong path, or that the universe is against you. The truth is, setbacks are not barriers, they are teachers. They reveal your strengths, expose your weaknesses, and help you refine your approach. Consider Thomas Edison, who famously failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Each failure brought him closer to success because he trusted the process and viewed each setback as part of the journey. When you encounter obstacles, do you see them as reasons to quit or as lessons to guide your next steps? And what might you learn if you reframed failure as a stepping stone to success? Trusting the process also requires letting go of comparison. In today's world, it's easy to look at others and feel like you're falling behind. Social media bombards us with highlight reels of success, making it seem like everyone else has life figured out while we struggle. But the Stoics remind us that our paths are unique, and comparison only distracts us from our own journey. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Be satisfied with even the smallest progress, and consider that nothing is small if it advances your purpose." Your progress may not look like anyone else's, and that's okay. What matters is that you keep moving forward, no matter how slowly. Are you measuring your success by someone else's timeline? Or are you honoring your own pace and process? Remember that trusting the process is not about blind faith. It's about aligning your actions with your values, embracing challenges as opportunities, and having the patience to let things unfold in their own time. The universe works in ways we cannot always understand, but when you commit to the journey, the results often exceed anything you could have imagined. The lesson here is simple but profound. Focus on what you can control, take consistent action, and let go of the need to rush or force outcomes. Trust that the work you're putting in today will bear fruit in the future, even if you can't see it yet. As Seneca said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, but because we do not dare that they are difficult." Dare to trust the process, and you may find that the universe has been guiding you all along. So, are you ready to take the next step, even if the full path isn't visible yet? The answer lies in your willingness to begin. 9. The courage to face fear. He who is brave is free. Seneca. Fear is a universal emotion, one that every single person experiences at some point in their lives. It's a natural response to uncertainty, danger, or the unknown. But while fear is inevitable, letting it control your life is not. The Stoics understood this deeply and often spoke of courage as the antidote to fear. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act despite it. Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." How true is that? Think about how many times you've built up fear in your mind, only to realize later that the actual experience was far less terrifying than you imagined. Fear, when left unchecked, grows like a shadow, feeding on your doubts and insecurities. But when you summon the courage to confront it, you realize that fear is often a mirage, dissolving as you move toward it. What fears are holding you back right now, and how might your life change if you decided to face them head on? The courage to face fear begins with recognizing it for what it is, an emotion, not a fact. Fear has a way of convincing you that you're not capable, that you'll fail, or that the risk isn't worth the reward. But as the Stoics taught, you are not your emotions. Epictetus reminded us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Fear is simply a reaction, and you have the power to choose how you respond. Yet in modern life, where failure is often stigmatized and vulnerability can feel risky, facing fear can seem overwhelming. But what if you saw fear as a signal that you're on the verge of growth? Every great achievement requires stepping into the unknown. Fear isn't a barrier, it's a guidepost, pointing you toward opportunities for transformation. What if the fear you feel isn't trying to stop you but to prepare you for something greater? Consider the story of David, a man in his 40s who had always dreamed of running a marathon. For years he put it off, convincing himself that he wasn't athletic enough or that he'd never have the time to train. But deep down, David knew it wasn't his schedule or fitness level that was holding him back. It was fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. One day, after reading a book on Stoicism, David decided to confront that fear. He signed up for a local 10K as a first step, and though his training was far from perfect, he showed up and finished the race. That small victory gave him the confidence to tackle longer distances, and within 2 years, David completed his first marathon. Reflecting on his journey, he realized that the hardest part wasn't the physical training. It was overcoming the mental barriers he had created for himself. What fears are keeping you on the sidelines, and what first step could you take today to begin overcoming them? The Stoics believed that courage is a muscle, one that grows stronger with practice. Every time you act in the face of fear, no matter how small the action, you're building that muscle. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This wisdom reminds us that courage doesn't mean taking reckless leaps. It means taking deliberate, thoughtful steps toward what matters most to you, even when fear is present. Start small. If you're afraid of public speaking, begin by sharing your thoughts in a small group. If you fear rejection, challenge yourself to initiate a conversation or take a chance on an opportunity. The more you face your fears, the more you'll realize that they lose their power the moment you step into action. What small step could you take today to move closer to the life you want? Facing fear also requires embracing failure as a natural part of growth. The Stoics understood that failure is not the opposite of success, but a vital part of it. Seneca said, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." This means that failure is not the end of the road. It's a redirection, a chance to learn, adjust, and try again. Think about a time when you failed at something but gained valuable insights or skills because of it. How might that failure have prepared you for future success? When you stop fearing failure, you free yourself to take risks, to explore, and to grow. Fear of failure often paralyzes us, but when you embrace it as a teacher rather than a threat, you begin to see every setback as an opportunity to build resilience. In addition to embracing failure, facing fear involves letting go of the need for certainty. Life is unpredictable, and waiting for perfect conditions before taking action often leads to inaction. The Stoics taught us to focus on what is within our control, our thoughts, choices, and actions, and to release attachment to outcomes. Epictetus advised, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do, and you will go on well." This mindset is liberating because it shifts your focus from fearing the unknown to trusting yourself to handle whatever comes your way. Can you let go of the need to control every detail and trust that you are capable of navigating uncertainty? Finally, the courage to face fear isn't just about personal growth, it's about inspiring others. When you act with courage, you create a ripple effect, showing those around you what's possible. Think about someone in your life who has faced fear with bravery. How did their courage impact you? Your willingness to confront your fears might inspire someone else to do the same. Courage is contagious, and by choosing to act despite fear, you contribute not only to your own growth but also to the growth of those around you. Fear is not your enemy, it's your ally in disguise. It's a signal that you're stepping outside your comfort zone into the territory where real growth happens. The Stoics remind us that courage is not a one-time act, but a way of life, a choice we make every day to move toward what matters most, even when the path is uncertain. The lesson is clear. Fear will always be a part of life, but it doesn't have to define you. You have the power to face it, to act despite it, and to grow because of it. So ask yourself, what fear is holding you back right now, and what is one small step you can take to confront it? As Seneca so wisely put it, "He who is brave is free." The freedom you seek is waiting on the other side of your fear. Are you ready to claim it? 10. The ripple effect of transformation. Transformation is never just about you. While personal growth often starts as an inward journey, its effects ripple outward, touching the lives of those around you in ways you may never fully realize. The Stoics understood this well. They believed that living a virtuous life not only elevated the individual, but also inspired and influenced others to do the same. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on the interconnectedness of humanity, reminding us that we are part of a greater whole. When you take the first step toward becoming a better version of yourself, whether by conquering a bad habit, pursuing a goal, or simply living with greater awareness, you create a ripple effect. Those changes don't stop with you. They influence your family, friends, co-workers, and even strangers who observe and are inspired by your actions. But what does this ripple effect really look like in modern life? And how can you use it to maximize your impact? Let's start with a simple story. Michael, a 42-year-old father of two, decided to prioritize his health after years of neglect. His first steps were small, waking up early to walk, cutting back on junk food, but they were consistent. Over time, his energy improved, and so did his mood. His kids, watching their father's transformation, became curious and began joining him for his morning walks. Soon his wife started cooking healthier meals for the family, inspired by Michael's commitment. Within a year, his entire household had embraced a healthier lifestyle, and the positivity spilled over into his workplace, where co-workers began noticing the changes and asking for tips. What started as one man's decision to change had created a ripple effect, transforming not just his own life, but the lives of everyone in his orbit. What changes in your life could spark a similar impact? The ripple effect works because actions speak louder than words. The Stoics believed in leading by example, emphasizing that it's not what you say but how you live that inspires others. Seneca advised, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." When you embody the virtues of discipline, kindness and perseverance, you naturally attract and uplift those around you. Think about someone in your life who has inspired you. Was it their words that made the biggest impact, or was it the way they carried themselves, especially in difficult times? Your own transformation works the same way. When you live with intention and authenticity, you give others permission to do the same. And as your actions influence those around you, their growth creates new ripples, extending far beyond what you might ever see. In today's world, it's easy to underestimate your influence. Social media and the constant comparison it fosters can make you feel small, as though your efforts don't matter. But the truth is, even the smallest acts of growth and kindness can have profound effects. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." This means living your values so fully that they become evident in everything you do. When you choose patience over anger, perseverance over giving up, or generosity over selfishness, people notice, even if they don't say it out loud. These small moments of alignment between your actions and your values plant seeds in the minds of others, seeds that can grow into their own transformations. Have you considered how your daily choices might be influencing the people you interact with, even in passing? The ripple effect is also a reminder that transformation isn't just personal, it's relational. Your growth enhances your ability to connect with and support others. When you overcome challenges, you gain wisdom and empathy that can help someone else who is struggling. For example, someone who has rebuilt their finances after years of debt is uniquely positioned to guide a friend facing similar difficulties. The Stoics believed in sharing what we've learned, not as a way to boast, but as a way to contribute to the common good. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This philosophy underscores the importance of integrity in our interactions. By being truthful and acting with compassion, you not only grow yourself, but also create an environment where others feel safe and encouraged to grow. Transformation also requires humility, because the ripple effect doesn't mean controlling or forcing others to change. The Stoics remind us to focus on what we can control, our own actions and attitudes. You can't make someone else grow, but you can inspire them by your example. Think about a time when someone tried to force you to change versus a time when someone inspired you by their actions. Which approach was more effective? The ripple effect works best when it's organic, born out of genuine effort and authenticity, rather than a desire to impress or manipulate. Are your actions today aligned with the person you want to be, not just for yourself, but for those who look up to you? The beauty of the ripple effect is that it often extends further than you realize. A kind word to a stranger might brighten their day, which in turn affects how they treat someone else. A decision to face your fears might inspire a friend to confront their own. These small, often invisible ripples are the building blocks of larger societal change. The Stoics understood this interconnectedness, believing that personal virtue contributes to the greater harmony of the universe. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, "What is bad for the hive is bad for the bee." In other words, your growth benefits not just you, but everyone around you, and your struggles, if shared with humility, can become sources of strength for others. Remember, that transformation is never just about you. Your decision to grow, to improve, and to live with intention creates ripples that touch lives in ways you may never fully understand. Whether it's inspiring your children, encouraging a friend, or simply brightening a stranger's day, the effects of your actions matter. The Stoics teach us that living a virtuous life is the highest good, not just for ourselves, but for the collective well-being of humanity. So, ask yourself, what kind of ripple effect do you want to create? Are your actions today planting seeds of growth, kindness, and courage, or are they contributing to stagnation and negativity? The choice is yours, and the impact is immeasurable. As Marcus Aurelius so wisely said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Transform your thoughts, and you transform your actions. Transform your actions, and you transform the world around you. What ripple will you start today? As you reflect on the wisdom shared today, remember that the universe is constantly speaking to you through challenges, opportunities, and even the quietest moments. The key is to listen, trust, and take action, toward becoming your best self. Every small step you take today creates ripples that can transform your life and inspire those around you. So why wait? Start applying these principles of Stoicism to your daily routine and watch how your perspective and happiness evolve. What steps will you take today to align with your higher self? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you're incorporating these lessons into your life. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stoic in Your Life. For more insights on living with purpose and resilience, let's grow together one step at a time.